Ask yourself this question. If you are the one who caused a problem, when it's time to clean it up, should you not be vested, or not just vested, shouldn't you be also responsible for ensuring that it gets cleaned up by you? In other words, you taking care of the majority of the effort to get it cleaned up? When it comes to climate change, the countries that are going to suffer the most are the countries along the equators, countries that don't have the sort of capitalistic economies that were created because, again, of the amount of crap that was thrown into the atmosphere. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side, because it is important for us to figure out some equitable way to handle who is going to pay for climate change, or rather the mitigation of climate change right now.
There's been a somewhat controversial idea raised and floated that richer, more developed Western countries that have spent years profiting off of fossil fuels and becoming wealthy off of them should somehow pay money to countries that are richer, that are poor, and that have suffered firsthand and are seeing it on their daily lives from climate change. We're seeing some of these countries contribute $5 million, $10 million, $50 million here, but as you know, that's just a drop in the bucket when we're hearing from experts that this will require trillions of dollars worth of investment. Where does the United States stand on this issue?
Well, it has long resisted any sort of loss and damage agreement. Over a decade ago, the countries agreed this is the right thing to do. Not only are countries like the Bangladeshs of the world, or Pakistan, which a third of the country was flooded, they had tiny carbon footprints historically. Some of those countries were exploited for the very fossil fuels that are then coming back and biting everybody, right? So it's a double jeopardy for them. What's sort of bubbling to the surface now, John Kerry floated this thing this week, and Gina McCarthy, the climate czar, basically acknowledges it comes down to Congress. If Kevin McCarthy is the new Speaker of the House, a Republican is, it makes it much harder to get all of these promises out the door. So in order to meet these obligations and step up, she's saying, Envoy Kerry is working with the private sector to come up with some sort of maybe an insurance scheme. Germany seems in on this as well. So the rich countries of the world basically buy insurance for the poorer countries. That won't go over well in a lot of places where they see that as just profiting even more off of the folks at the bottom of the economic pyramid. But if it's the only thing that the rich countries are talking about, it's better than nothing. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out the rest of this week.
Now, when you hear me talk about capitalism has no soul, and that if doing good, that to do good requires some capitalists to make a profit, this is what I'm talking about. We can't get good health care. Why? Because somebody hasn't figured out a way to maximize their profits out of it. We in having a good health care system as opposed to throwing it into the public domain. When it comes to climate change, we can't get climate change because somehow right now the capitalists can't find a way that they can profit from it for the rest of the world. So therefore, we just keep polluting because there is no answer in order to make money. This is where governments have to take control. And when I say government, we have to realize it's one planet that we all live on. And the only way to solve this problem is for those who have to be able to contribute to clean up the mess that actually they've created. They've thrown all the carbon in the air. They've thrown all the methane in the air. And now the suffering, those who are dying because of it. It's funny because if this was a corporation, somebody done this to a corporation, they would be in court suing for damages. I can't wait for all the countries in the world who didn't cause this problem to say, we are now going to effectively sue the nations that created this problem. Of course, it will fail because the courts are going to be run by these countries. But what we'll then be able to show all the people of the world is the fraud that is the economic system that can throw damage, can pilfer, can do all these things to others, and yet take no responsibility, absolve themselves from any responsibility from that which they created. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.